Interglobe Aviation, Anisha, it's not a crash landing at least this time. How do the numbers look?
Oh, well, yes, despite the 28% top-line growth, the costs for the companies remain higher, and that's the reason the profit declined by 75% and the numbers came below the street expectations. But having said that, you can't take away the fact that the operational performance has improved sequentially because the yields have gone up by around 20% to 3.83 this quarter, and even the EBITDA margin came in at 21% versus 3% last quarter. Now, Morgan Stanley says that the positive trend in yield is something that the investors should take note of, and that's the reason perhaps the stock would take off today. And also crude is below the $61 per barrel mark.
Okay, yes, and jet is still in trouble. So green for Interglobe. In any case, these would be lagged numbers. Okay, Pidilite, did it stick fast to a performance?
Well, Lata, I have to say it finds itself on a sticky wicket this time because, you know, the revenue growth of 20%, much above what the street was working with, and that was led by domestic volume growth of 11%. That comes on a base of 23%. In fact, the volume growth was 5 to 6% higher than what the street was expecting. But that's come at the cost of margins. So the EBITDA has actually fallen by 9%. Margins have compressed by almost 600 basis points. And it's important because gross margins came off not only year on year, they came off quarter on quarter as well. Up until now, all the crude-related companies that posted gross margin declines, they saw a sequential uptick. So let's see how that comes about. The net profit was lower than the street was expecting. The company says now, fortunately, input costs have moderated. So let's see how the street takes these numbers.
That's pretty light. And speaking of sticky issues, Lata, what is happening with SR Steel? Loans being sold, not sold, resolution, no resolution?
I think it's important that the NCLAT has told the NCLT, you better decide by Jan 31st or I'm going to take the case back myself. I think that's positive. It indicates resolve, and it will hopefully get resolved at the courts itself. But yeah, it can still go to Supreme Court. For me, this is a sentiment positive for banks.
Okay, so SBI is going to be in focus as well. Back to telecom then. Massive fundraising, 25,000 crores by Vodafone Idea. What are the other details, Reema?
Well, yes, 25,000 crore fundraising via the rights issue, of which Vodafone will contribute 11,000 crore rupees. The Aditya Birla Group will contribute 7,250 crore. And remember, Grasim has about a 12% stake in Vodafone Idea, so they too will be making a contribution. The question is, what will be the extent of a discount? At current market price itself, there will be an equity dilution of close to about 46%.
Okay, that much. Anisha, are there any other stocks you want us to watch?
Oh, well, yes, I have a whole list, and I'll start with Coffee Day, which continues to be in focus because Blackstone is looking at buying real estate from the founder in Bengaluru, and that is the unverified report that we are picking up. Separately, keep an eye out on Mindtree as well, because reports suggest that the deal is likely to happen within 10 days, and they are eyeing a value of 1,000 rupees per share. So that number will definitely grab attention today. Moving on to some result reaction, SL Propack reported a decent set of earnings. Profits jumped 14% and the revenue up around 17%. Keep an eye out on Persistent Systems as well because the board is looking to consider a buyback, and that will happen in the board meet on Jan 27th. So that might see a positive reaction. Another result reaction, and this one is for Tejas Networks. Very weak set of numbers because the revenue declined by 20% and the EBITDA margin also have come down. Back to you.
Ooh, that is a long, long list. Thank you, Anisha, so much for getting us all of those details. Quick recap of the top 10 lists of stocks this morning, maybe a little more than 10 because we are in earnings season. So stocks with some positive news flow surrounding them are ITC, Bharti Airtel, Bharti Infratel, Ujjivan, State Bank of India, Interglobe Aviation and Vodafone Idea. Also throw in a Coffee Day, Mindtree, SL Propack, Persistent Systems, Biocon and PVR. Stocks with some negative news flow around them this morning are United Spirits, Pidilite and Tejas Networks. So lots more green than red as far as our stock list goes, Lata.
Yeah, as far as the results performance also. But results performance of Bank of Maharashtra is something that should make you sit up because the most important number was the net NPA. It has come down by about 50%. From 8,700 crore, it has come down to 4,600 crore. But the more important number is percentage time. In percentage terms, net NPA has come down from 10.6 to 5.9. That's just a shade below 6%. Why is that important? 6% is the filter over which banks go into the prompt corrective action list. Because it has come at 5.9, it looks like it stands a very good chance of coming out of the prompt corrective action list, and it is well and widely reported by our channel itself that the Reserve Bank is looking very closely at Q3 numbers to decide on the status of banks, whether they are in or out of PCA. To give us more color on Bank of Maharashtra, AC Raut, the Executive Director, joins us. Good morning, Mr. Raut. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Ms. Lata.
Would you say, I mean, you seem to qualify quite clearly on net NPA rules. What about capital adequacy? Are you above the RBI filter?
Yeah, amongst all these PCA parameters, total 5 parameters, CRA is 5, much above that 10.875.
Okay.
One, it is 8.93. It is also much above 7.375.
Okay. Okay.
So, as you told, it is 8.91.
So, can you keep the phone? Can you keep the phone closer to your mouth? We are not able to hear you very clearly.
Yeah, and the leverage ratio, it is 4.15%.
Okay. So you qualify on all grounds. Saying, have you written to the RBI? Are you in dialogue with them?
It is the regulator has asked for the figure time to time, and also they are closely observing our performance.
Sure.
Other than return on assets, our performance looks quite impressive.
Okay.
You've taken a huge amount of provisioning this quarter, which is why the net loss, sir. What can we expect on the P&L? When do you get back in profits? Are you expecting, out of a lot of these stressed accounts, are you expecting any write-backs and recoveries to aid the bottom line?
Yeah. Now provision coverage ratio, now it is 81.08%. In all NCLT cases, 88 cases, greater than 98%. So that, and all these NCLTs also, they constitute about 60% of the total NPAs. So that in the now, forward, I think we have to, whenever there will be a lot of write-backs on the provision, we hope that when it will.
So we are barely able to hear you. If you can very quickly tell us, are you likely to go into the green? As you said, on ROA, you will still not qualify because it is negative. Are you likely to post profit in the next quarter itself? Have you, are you done with the big provisioning?
Provisioning and front-loading of the provision
So this
to
is
be a result.
No, I mean, okay, if very quickly, can you get into the black anytime soon? This quarter, fourth quarter, next quarter?
We propose that, we estimate that it will come up, in Q4.
Okay.
Earlier we had done it in Q2.
Okay.
Now in Q4, could have repeated also.
Okay.
But we thought that it will be more prudent for more provisioning, all putting of the provision, so that going will be easier.
Okay. Going forward.
Quarter.
Okay, Mr. Raut, we really wish we had you on a better line, but thank you very much. We got the relevant numbers. You are above the RBI's filters as far as capital adequacy and net NPA is concerned. Yes, it is still a loss-making bank, which is also one filter, but they may be able to overlook that if the bank shows enough promise of getting into the black very soon, like this quarter itself.